What is self-doubt? What is it? It is the fear. It is the fear that is deep down inside of you. When you think about, I need to get a higher paying job, I need to go from making this to making this, I need to go out and update my resume and look for something better, but you are held back by fear. You're held back by being scared. And what exactly are you scared of? Yes, there's some fear of the ambiguity of it all, right? Like, what if I start a new job and I know they're gonna pay me more, but what if I don't like it? What if I don't like my boss? I mean, I don't like my boss in my current job. I don't give a fuck about my coworkers, but for some reason, I think it's gonna be worse somewhere else. It could be worse. I could be working harder, and even though I'm getting paid a little bit more, maybe I'm not gonna like the commute as much. Maybe I'm not gonna find a job that's closer. Maybe I gotta drive a little bit farther, right? The ambiguity of it is scary. Or what about starting a business? You're afraid that, well, what if I start this business and I fail? What if I put money into buying some inventory and I can't sell the inventory? Or I have to cold call people and I'm scared of talking with strangers. I'm scared of, going into a local dentist office and offering my creative ad agency services or something like that, right? You have this fear, but the fear, it's not that. You're not scared of the ambiguity. You're not scared of being uncertain if the job is gonna be more comfortable or not, or if your new boss is gonna like you, if you're gonna like the new environment. You're not really scared of that. You are scared of it on a superficial level, right? Looking at the book on its cover, you're scared of that. But deep down inside, you know that in order to succeed at this business, to succeed at this new venture, you have to become the person who will succeed at that venture. And that is what scares you the most. That is what scares you the most, is having to confront yourself and say, what is wrong with me? How do I become the person who is going to succeed at this task? So in my case, I spent years working crap jobs. Started at Wendy's, right? I worked at Gander Mountain, and I kind of worked my way up, from job to job, looking for a job that pays $6 an hour to $7 an hour to $10 an hour, kind of working my way up and up. Finally I found myself bouncing in New York, and it was great, making really good money. And I had 3 jobs, maybe making around $80,000-$90,000 a year when you add them all together. 2 full-time jobs and a part-time job plus overtime, right? Sounds great. Working 100 plus hours a week, but fucking, making 80, 90 grand a year, not great. But hey, for somebody who had no formal education really at that time, it sounded great. I was living pretty well. But I knew I obviously had to go on and do more. There was more in store for my life. I wanted to make a lot more money. I want to live in a place like I live now. Plus, I was a lot smarter than those jobs required me to be. Certainly, I had to be strong. I had to know how to fight, and it was while it was fun, it wasn't exactly a career to be a bouncer. And I was just afraid of who I had to become the person I am today. I was afraid of having to confront my fears of going back to school, finishing highly technical degrees in finance and analytics, getting an MBA. I was afraid of confronting my own limits of my intellectual capabilities. Like, am I smart enough to actually do this? Am I smart enough to go to business school, graduate top of my class? Can I do that? Can I get straight A's? Can I take highly technical advanced statistics courses and study business analytics, get degrees in programming? Can I actually learn how to code in Python and other programs, right? It was something that was daunting. It was scary. But you know what? I had to overcome that fear. I had to look deep down inside of myself, identify the things that I was scared of, and I had to confront that. I had to I've talked about this before. It's the story of the dragon and the treasure. In order to get to the greatest treasure, you will have to defeat the dragon that's sleeping on top of it. It's an old story, right? You get the hero, and you have to go on this hero's journey. It's the story of The Hobbit. It's the story of Star Wars. It's the story of Harry Potter. It's the dragon and the treasure. Our hero has to go, grow and develop, become a better person, go through many difficult experiences until they finally get to Mount Doom and they have to cast that ring in the fire. They finally get into the deep part of the mountain where there's a dragon sleeping on the treasure. They have to defeat the dragon in order to get the treasure. I had to fucking do that. But it's not over for me. I did it. I got the treasure. I got the dragon. I got a beautiful home. I got my dream car. I got my beautiful wife. I'm super fucking happy. I got everything I wanted. But now I want more. Now I want to actually be able to have more. I want to have more freedom with my time. I want to be able to give back to my local charities, my community. I want to be able to help lift up other people out of the same shit that I was in. So I had to do things to really make me feel uncomfortable. I had to come on here on fucking YouTube to share my story with you, to share my wisdom, my experiences, so that I can hopefully help somebody the way other people on YouTube have helped me. It wasn't easy. I had to confront myself, my fear of putting myself on camera, talking with people, putting myself out there, that somebody's gonna laugh at me, they'll make some comments. Don't give a fuck at this point. Doesn't fucking matter. What matters to me is helping you. What matters to me is overcoming myself. That's why I'm in the gym every fucking morning at 4 a.m. I've started doing that 7 months ago. I've stuck to it consistently. I fucking go every morning at 4 a.m. Why? Because I'm confronting the fucking dragon. I'm fighting the dragon every fucking morning. I'm down there. I run 10 miles a day every morning, and I'm fucking on mile 5, on mile 6, I'm fighting that fucking dragon every morning. It's the deepest, darkest parts of me that threaten to pull me down, that threaten to get me to start smoking again. They threaten to get me to start drinking again. They threaten to pull me out of this life and the progress that I've made and pull me back down to that piece of fucking shit that I was before for most of my fucking life. You know, it's hard to think of a life where you're sober. If that's where you're at, where you fucking find solace and happiness in the bottom of a bottle like I did for years, you're there now. It's hard to imagine a life where you're sober. It's hard to imagine a life where you're very wealthy. It's hard to imagine making $50,000, $100,000 a month. It sounds daunting, it's scary, it's almost unimaginable because you can't imagine being where you are now and being sober and making 5, 6 figures a month, 7 figures a month, 8 figures a month. It just sounds impossible. But nothing is going to change if you don't take those first steps. You're never gonna find out what's on the other side if you don't get the courage to overcome the fear of looking deep down inside of yourself and realizing what it is that you need to do in order to become that person. You can be somebody who makes $100 million a month. But in order to do it, you have to become somebody extremely extraordinary. And I'm not trying to tell you to be delusional, right? But you can make $10,000 a month. Millions of people do every day. Millions of people in the United States make $10,000 a month. It's a fairly normal white-collar salary. You can do it too. You want to get to $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month, you can do it too. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of business owners around the country are doing that. You can do the same thing. You're not different than anybody else, other than you cannot overcome your own fears. But I have really good news for you. You can change, and when you do, things will get better because you're here. You are, just by virtue of you being here, watching this video to the end, you are proving to yourself that you're one of those people who gives a fuck, who knows that they can change it and who wants to change. And so I want to thank you for watching this. Just fucking do it. You can change. I fucking changed.